Hello and welcome to a weekend episode of Daily English, where we try to grow in English and in life. Today we're beginning a two-part series about something many people experience without realizing it. Many of us probably have experienced this. Sleepwalking through life. Of course, I'm not talking about a medical condition. I mean living mostly on autopilot, moving from one responsibility to another, reacting to whatever appears, and repeating familiar routines without us stopping to ask, is this still the life I want to be living? Now, autopilot is not always bad. We need it. Habits save mental energy and help daily life run smoothly. The problem begins when autopilot spreads into the parts of life that need our attention. Your routine can be automatic, but your values should not be. Your schedule may repeat, but the people you love should not become invisible. So, what are the signs? One sign is that your days have started to blur together. Monday feels like Thursday. 1 month gradually disappears into the next. You're always occupied, but very few moments feel memorable. This does not necessarily mean your life is boring. It may mean that your attention is rarely where your body is. You eat while watching something, you listen while planning what to say next, you walk while checking your phone, you rest while mentally working. Your body is here, but your mind is already somewhere else. Another sign is that many of your decisions are made by default. You continue a routine because you have always done it. Here is one uncomfortable but useful question. What in my life have I stopped choosing but continued repeating? A habit? A commitment? A relationship pattern? A way of speaking to yourself? A dream you keep postponing? And another sign is emotional flatness. You may not feel deeply unhappy, but you do not feel especially alive either. Nothing is terribly wrong, yet something seems to be missing. You laugh, but not deeply. You rest, but do not feel restored. You're not necessarily living badly. You're simply living at a distance from yourself. Another sign is that you rarely ask yourself honest questions. Not, what do I need to finish today? But, what do I miss? What has been draining me? What gives me energy? What has become normal that should not be normal? These questions can be uncomfortable. Of course they are. Perhaps that is why autopilot feels so attractive. Routine keeps us moving, so we do not have to look too closely. But sometimes looking closely is how we begin to return to ourselves. So, here's a small exercise for today. At 3 different moments, stop for 30 seconds. Look around. Notice your breathing. Notice what you're doing. Then ask, am I here or am I simply passing through this moment? Do not criticize yourself if the answer is uncomfortable. The goal is not to be perfectly present every minute. The goal is simply to notice when you have disappeared from your own life and gently return. Because awareness is the first interruption of autopilot. We cannot change a life we are not noticing. In part 2, we will talk about how to return to our lives. Not by changing everything overnight, but by turning small defaults back into conscious choices. Thank you for being here today. Enjoy your weekend, take care, and see you tomorrow.